Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a quick rundown on the frame. As you order it from me, it comes packaged like this. Basically inside there you've got the two frame plates, the top one and the bottom one, and there's two bags in there with all the small components in. One bag contains the parts for the front, and one bag contains the pieces for the battery section at the back, and the holders for the rubbers. If you ordered the rubbers from me, I send them out like this in a little bag. There's 10 rubbers in there, but you can order them from High Model as well. They're in the parts list. I'm just going to pop this open. Right, so I've now got it open. That's basically how it comes. So if you take that off there, I've used masking tape so it won't leave any sticky residue on the frame plates themselves. I'm just going to pop that open like that. Okay, and you've got one bag here where the parts are sticking out of the top here like that. That part there is is for this section here. It goes on this section of the frame for the rear battery compartment. And the other bag has the parts for the front. It's got the gimbal, the gimbal holder, and the FPV camera holder in there. And you'll notice as well on the top plate there are these parts taped onto here. Take these off, and these parts here, there's 3 parts there. They are to hold the FPV transmitter. At this point you now need to make a decision if you want to build it. I'm just going to bring in my quad here, move that forward and bring in my quad. You need to make a decision if you want to build I call this frame a left-handed frame because the FPV camera is on the left side here like this. But you can also build it like this, so that you've got the FPV camera on the right. Personally, I've flown both. This is the left-handed version. I've flown the right before. The right-handed version is slightly better because because of the gimbal. The way it is, the gimbal is then turned around like this, and the GoPro sits more central on the frame, and you get less, well, you get basically no view of the props. It's only in certain conditions in forward flight when the props come into view. Personally, I would build it right like that, and that is why I send all my frames out with these parts glued to the top of the frame like that. It's just one thing to keep in mind when you're building it. You need to make sure you've made your decision before you start the build on whether you're building a right or a left-handed frame. But the frames are completely switchable. You can build them however you wanted to. I'm going to change this one over to a right-handed one eventually. Okay. Probably the easiest part to start with is going to be these parts here. Basically, you've got these right angle pieces here, and they're going to slide into these slots here like this, and then this piece is going to sit on there like that, and then that you're just going to make sure you've got to fit it all in nicely so that all the tabs line up with the slots. And then you're going to want to use super glue and just tack that down. Just a quick note when you're doing your gluing. First off is I would recommend a medium glue. The thin glue you could use as well, but you tend to get in a mess a lot easier. The thick glue doesn't run so well into all the cracks, so I choose the medium. And I also like to use these here. This is sort of like it's a nozzle. I got them from eBay, and the hole in the end is really small, and it's perfect for getting into the small areas like this and filling in all the cracks and whatnot for your gluing. So that is basically the easiest setup to have. Another thing that you can have is some of this, and this is it's basically it's an activator spray. You don't need this. You can just use this. But if you have this, you can spray this on your joints when they've been glued, and the glue dries pretty much instantly. Like I say, that's optional, but that is definitely, them two are a must. Really, you need the medium super glue and either a new pot with a nice tip, or a nozzle. Right, now you've got that locked down in place with the glue. I'm just going to put this dry here for the sake of the video, but you're going to want to lock that down with glue. I'm going to put that to one side, and I'm going to bring this piece of the frame into the shot. I'm going to open up this bag here, and that's the bag for the front section. Okay, I'm just going to open the bag and tip it out onto the table, and I'll walk through the parts. Okay, most of the parts are quite obvious. This is the part for the front where the motor and the gimbal attaches to. I'm just going to leave that there. These parts here are for the rubber dampeners, and although they look the same, they are slightly different. They're ever so slightly different. The way to check to make sure you've got them on the right side is basically line them up to you need to line the holes up, and this slot on this side, I'll bring it in close. You need to line these two holes up, and this slot in the middle should line up with this slot on the frame, and as you can see on that side there, when I line up the holes, the slot doesn't line up, so that's the wrong one. And that is the right one. See, the two holes are lined up, and this slot is lined up. So my battery's charged, I can go flying in a minute. And that one there fits on that side. So I'm just going to lie that down, put them like that. This piece here is for the FPV camera. That sits in there like that. That can be added right at the end. You don't need that yet. And then you've got these three pieces here, and they are to hold this motor plate in the vertical position. And then you've got a couple of smaller pieces here. You've got two sort of 90-degree pieces. This one and there's two of these as well. Basically, these ones here fit in the sides here like this, with the fat end on the top, like that. And these ones here slot into the sides here and keep these pieces that hold the rubbers at a 90-degree angle. Okay, I'm going to put together the front end of this now. To start with, I'm going to start with this piece here. This piece with the long arm on the side here, and this goes on this side here. So if you're building a right-hand frame, as I am now, it goes on the left side. Okay, and then you're going to want to take this piece here, and that's going to slide in like that, simply. And then you're going to want to take this piece here, and you're going to notice on all of these pieces there is a step here, this step here, and that step, you'll notice it's on this one as well. That step is on all the pieces and it needs to be at the bottom. Okay, so you're going to put that one in there, that one in the centre, and you're going to want to put this one on the end. And then this piece here is then going to sit in there, in them slots, and then we push down and locked into place like that. Now you can at this point glue this section here as it is with your super glue. You lock that down and then it won't move. For the sake of the video, I'm not gluing anything in this video. And then you're going to want to take these two pieces here. You're going to want to make sure you've got them on the right sides, like I have. And you're going to want to put in this piece into this front like that and slide it all the way forward. Once you slide it forward, you're going to want to take a triangle piece and slide it in from the side, like that. And there's a slot in there as well, in this last piece. And then you're going to want to take this piece here, and you'll notice it's got a fat end and a thin end. The fat end, this end here, goes to the top, so it's going to want to slide in the frame like that, and then to the back like that. It's going to look something like that once it's done. You're going to want to do that on both sides and then lock it all down. That goes in there, piece in the side, and then that piece in there, like that. And that is basically it for the front section. You're going to want to, some things you need to make note of, if you need to make sure, look from the top, look down and make sure that these holes are lined up, because these are where the rubber dampeners are going to sit after that, and if the holes are out of alignment, then you might find that your centre section moves slightly, and you won't have this 2mm gap all the way around. Okay, and once you've got all that down, you can open up the second bag and move on to the rear section. Okay, so for the sake of the video, I've taken the front section off again, and I'm going to show you how to. I'm going to do a dry assembly of the rear section basically. You get your bag like this. You're going to want to open it up. Mine's ripped at the bottom, so I'm just going to pull all these pieces out. And now, keeping the frame in its right-handed position, so with this FPV camera holder on the right side from me, you're going to want to put this piece here with this groove here, this piece. This is going to want to go on this side like that. The other piece is going to go there, and then you're going to have that piece there, which is the front, that's going to go there. These pieces are going to sit like this. I'm just going to arrange them for you, how you should arrange them on your table, and then you'll have a better idea of where all the parts are going to sit. Something to note on these pieces here, they look similar, but they are different as well. This one here has a little tab on the side, and this one doesn't. The one that doesn't, this one here, you only have 2 of, and they're going to go on the front section here on these dampener holders. These ones here, you have 4 of these, and they go on the back. Okay, so once you have arranged your parts like this, you're going to want to take this part here, and you're going to want to put in these side pieces like this, so that you've got the tabs looking down, sort of like that. And then you're going to want to put the tabs into the slots on the side of this frame. This can be a bit fiddly. And that's going to sit in there like that. And once you've got that on there like that, you can go ahead and super glue that down, and that's going to sit in place as it should do. You're going to want to do that on both sides, and then you're going to and then we're going to work on the front here. Right, so now I've got these 2 sections here on the rear completed. You're going to want to take these 3 parts here. You're going to take this one here like this, and this piece, and they're going to slide in one another like so, and then this piece here is going to slide in from the side, and it's going to keep it all nice and square. Now you can go ahead and glue that now with your super glue. Just going to quickly put together the other side, and then that piece on the side there slides in like that. Okay, so I would glue them now as they are, make sure they're nice and squared. And then you're going to want to take this piece here and slide it. You will see it, the holes, the slots that line up. You're going to want to put it in the slots, but not slide it forward yet. You're going to put it in and just leave it at the rear hanging over like this. And then you're going to take this piece here that's pre-glued, and you're going to put it in the slots, these 2 slots here. And then you're going to, you will notice there is some slots on the side here as well. They're going to line up with these slots, these tabs here. So again, it's a bit fiddly, but it can be done. That's going to slide in there, and then you're going to want to slide both of them forward at the same time and sort of align the tabs on the side here as you go along. It's going to look like that when it's finished. Again, you need to make sure that your holes are lined up, and I wouldn't glue this yet. Make sure your holes are lined up, but don't glue it. You're going to put both sides in, and then we're going to add the front bit and secure it all down. I'm just going to add this side, second side really quickly. like I say, you're gonna have to have a bit of patience when building this. It's not a frame that's it's not. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not simple to build, but it's worth it once it's built. Okay, and now I've got that locked into place. This final piece here is going to decide where everything sits. You're going to put this down here, and you will see that in the rear here there's 2 more slots, and they're going to align with the bottom tabs of that. So you're going to want to slide these pieces forwards and backwards until you get them tabs to line up, just like that, and then you're going to push that down. And what you're going to want to do now is you're going to want to make sure you go over it again and make sure that your holes have lined up. If they've not, maybe something's come out like it has here. You're going to want to just move it a little bit until it lines up, and then glue all that down. Right, there's one last part you're going to need to add, and that is this part here, and this part here goes in the rear. If you turn this bottom plate over, it's going to slide in like that, and you're going to want to glue that down like that. Basically it just sits in there, and it stops these arms from coming apart and removes that bit of flex basically. Just go ahead and glue it on these 2 sides here. Don't put any glue in the middle. It's not supposed to touch in this middle section here. Only supposed to touch on these 2 outer sections. Go ahead and glue that down, and then once you've done that, you are ready to cut all of these tabs to basically make the centre section free floating. I normally do that with a Dremel, just with a cutting tool. I'll go around and cut it, but you could use a normal saw and then sand it off after. Once you've cut the centre section out, you can add your dampeners, your rubber dampeners. Basically, you're going to want to open the bag, and like I said, this is not glued at the minute, this is all dry. I'm just going to do it on this section here. You're going to want to squeeze them together and push them in like that, and then just work it around until you get that rubber sitting in there as it should be. I'll show you here on my finished one how it should look. You can see on the rear here the dampeners are fitted in there like that. You've got 2 on the back, and then you've got 1 underneath each arm, and then you've got a second one at the front here to support the gimbal on each side. Total of 10. Once they're all in, you can go ahead and add your spacers and your arms, and one more thing you are going to need to add, and that is a piece of Velcro. Basically, on one side you've got basically the male and the female side of the Velcro on one piece of Velcro. You're going to want to put that on there like that, and then in this section here there's loads of holes. Now you can either epoxy that to that section there, or you can use a needle and thread and wrap it round. One thing I am going to modify on this in the future is I'm going to do it so that there's a slot in here, and the Velcro just slides through the slot, and then it'll be wrapped around like that. It'll make it more simple basically for people to put together. And once that piece of Velcro is going to go underneath the bottom like that, and then you're going to need to put a piece of Velcro on the bottom here to secure your battery in place. And that's about it for the build of the frame. Hopefully from that you've got enough information now to know where all the pieces go, because there are a lot of pieces. If you've still got any questions, then you can send me an email and I'll get back to you as quick as I can and help you out. I've not got a problem with that.